Okay, this is take 2 of this video. I got like 3 minutes in, then I realized I was muted. Listen, this is an opinion that I know for a fact I'm gonna get a lot of hate for. I understand, because objectively, this is crazy. I understand that this is crazy. I'm, like, looking down to make sure he's recording. I understand that this is crazy, but at the same time, this is an opinion that I do firmly believe. I don't like saying this here, that I do firmly believe, and quite frankly, it is important to me. If you are a person that eats raw cookie dough, not only are you a loser, but you have failed miserably in the grand scheme of the cookie. Let me explain though. If you're going out and you're just buying like store-bought cookie dough, whatever, right? Sure. I understand it's easy. It's really not that good anymore, but like if you buy like like the big like the tub of Nestle, like the tub, like the one that's like this, like the tub, or like the roll, the log. If you buy the tub or the log and you want to have some of that cookie dough, that's more understandable because the cookies aren't that good anyway, but whatever, right? But if you're making your own cookie dough, like from scratch, I do. I frequently make my own cookie dough. I wouldn't call myself a baker, but I do personally believe I have mastered the chocolate chip cookie. But if you make your own cookie dough, right? And you make the dough, you're at the point where you're scooping, and you're like, "Oh my god, the first scoop," and you scoop it up with like with a spoon or your hands, get like all like barbaric and go like, and then you just like you grab it. You have failed miserably. Listen, at the end of the day, right? I understand it. Cookie dough isn't bad. It's not bad, but like the cookie is just better. It's not like, oh my god, there's the cookie dough, which is so much better than the cookie, right? The cookie dough is so much better. And then the cookie is like, no, no, no. The cookie is just better than the dough. Let's make this. The cookie is just better. There's no workarounds. There's no no. 9 times out of 10, unless you burn the hell out of the cookie and it's not a cookie anymore, the cookie will always be better than the dough. That is a fact. I don't want to hear any arguments. If you argue against that, you're weird. I'm sorry. So, like, why are we making less dough? Because, sure, right? It may not seem like, oh my god, one spoonful of cookie dough will ruin the entire batch of cookies, because obviously it won't. But, like, this is a pretty easy math equation to figure out. Less cookie dough equals less cookie, right? If you eat the dough, it may not be that noticeable, but you are just getting less cookie, right? You can't argue against that. That is a fact. Like, the cookies could be like every cookie could be like a centimeter small. I don't know. There, I'm not getting into numbers. We understand what I'm saying. Like, why are you doing that, right? Because I'm making the cookie dough with the intention of making the cookies, and I don't know about you, but I want as much cookie as possible, right? I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh, I'm going to make the dough, but I don't really care how." No, I'm cookie maxing, right? I am going out of my way to make sure every cookie is as big as it can be, which also yields me the most. My cookie recipe, I get at least like 20. Like at least 20, and they're like this big, right? They're huge. They're massive, right? That wouldn't be possible. They'd go from this to this, right? Which may not be, you may see that and be like, dude, that's not even noticeable. But like it may not be noticeable, but it's still there, right? The short-term satisfaction of like getting your little cookie dough does not outweigh the long-term satisfaction of, wow, I have 20. You could have gotten an extra cookie. Like, you could make bigger cookies, but theoretically you could shrink the cookies equally and get an extra cookie out of it. And you could say, yeah, but you could do that without the cookie dough. That is true, but the cookies will always be smaller no matter how you slice it. If you eat the cookie dough, right, the cookies will always just be smaller than if you didn't. And like, you're risking salmonella. Listen, I'm not afraid of salmonella, right? If I got salmonella, whatever, so what, we're pooping, right? But like, it's the cookie, right? Like I said, if you're buying store-bought cookies, whatever, right? I don't care. They're not that good. You disrespecting the cookie doesn't matter, because the cookies themselves is, how does my hair look? I'm like, it's fine. You disrespecting the cookie, it doesn't matter, right? But like, if you make it fresh, you're a failure. You have failed these cookies that dude, when I'm it takes me at least half an hour, right? Maybe I'm slow, I don't know. That is half an hour of my life that I'm dedicating to these cookies. I would not I'm not having the dough. Because also the dough's not, I don't know where this like this weird, like, obsession with cookie dough came from. Because, like, yeah, cookie dough in, like, ice cream is great, but, like, raw cookie dough on its own, it's not like, ice cream cookie dough are, like, fundamentally 2 different things, right? One of them is frozen and kinda hard, the other one's, like, lukewarm and not nearly as soft. Now, to be fair, I do think I have, like, a texture thing, I really like chewy things. Like the chewier something is, I enjoy it more. Like, raw cookie dough is not the same as I because you can make edible cookie dough, right? If you're making edible cookie dough, go for it, right? I don't really care because it's edible. You're not making cookies. But like, if it's dough that's for like, what are you doing? Like, this is my same issue with brownie batter. Like, if I make brownies, like my sisters will come up and they'll be like, "Oh, can I lick the bowl?" Can you lick the bowl? Can no, I'm using as much. I'm not leaving you extras, right? I get if there's brownie mixture that's like on the whisk that I couldn't get out, sure, right? Go, but like, can you? No, no. Like when my sister makes brownies, right? I'll see her before she even pours it in the pan. She'll do like a. What are you doing? That's like that's like 1/100th of a brownie that we're not getting back now. And like it wasn't even like I don't understand the argument because at the end of the day, it will never be better than when it's like it's baked. It will just never be better, right? And you're wasting precious material. These goods are being wasted for short-term enjoyment when you could have long-term gain. Now, to be fair, the long-term enjoyment or gain is still not long, right? But comparatively speaking, you will have more mileage out of the baked cookies than you will the raw dough. That is a fact, right? The dough will remain raw for at least max like 10 minutes, right? Like, well, I mean, I guess you could chill it. No, I do chill my dough. Listen, the dough, right? It does you just the cookies. And I don't know why we're acting like the cookie isn't more important because you're making the dough for the cookie and you're making the brownie batter for the brownie. You're not making it to eat it because if it was better, you would never bake it. That's just a true fact. If the dough if anything raw was better than the cooked version, we wouldn't cook anything, right? Nothing would be cooked. But like we are cooking them and we are baking. Why? Because it tastes better. I guarantee I'm gonna get a lot of hate from this video, and people are gonna be like, "But it's part of the experience." But like, you're wasting cookie though, right? And maybe I'm just fat. I mean, I don't think I'm fat. You guys tell me on the streams I'm fat. I'm literally not. But at the end of the day, like I will always prioritize the cookie over the batter or the dough. This video's over now. If you like the video, subscribe. If you want to catch a stream, you could do that. YouTube or Twitch. I don't care where. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go now. Goodbye. Boop.